Hello, beautiful one, and how are you doing today? I am NatashaJohn-Baptiste, life coach mentor, peer mentor, and I'm here for you. I hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are, whatever time it is that you're watching this. This little section here is on questions and answers. I'm going to read something that I read and I'm going to do a response to it because I'm actually going through a kind of similar situation here. So I'm going to read it. It's from Quora. And the question is, my daughter-in-law doesn't show up for our family functions. What should I do? So I'm going to read through it. Just have a listen and then we're going to break it down a bit, okay? I am that daughter-in-law. She says, I'm finally had enough. First, it was how I was raising my child, my decisions regarding my returning to work. I was spoiling my child, mollycoddling my child, then it was my child's hair too long, it needs cutting on repeat. Then it was interference when we wanted to build our own home, telling us they would help us out financially. I kept refusing as we had other options available to get funds we needed. Really, them helping us financially meant equals we will make all the decisions as you will have no voice or say. His sister-in-law and mother-in-law have both been interfering. His brother has verbally abused me. They succeeded at one point turning my other sister-in-law against me. Thankfully, my sister-in-law saw the light and is friendly to me again. We as a couple have ended up in counselling. My mental health has suffered. My partner sat back and let this happen for fear of upsetting them. But it was easier to upset me. Also, my sister-in-law has issues about me going out with my friends and makes digs about me having hangovers. Please believe me when I tell you I'm not out every weekend boozing it up. All my friends have kids like me, so I only go out with them on occasions. What I find baffling is she is the one who drinks alcohol every night, takes her children to the pub with her on weekends, yet judges me. All my partners, previous partners, and child packed her bags and left him. Same situation, interfering. His ex and child have no contact with him or his family. Nothing changed when he met me. The circle of interference and control began all over again. My in-laws learned nothing. I wonder, would they even care if I packed my bags and I left, as long as they still had access to see their grandchild? So I could not take any more. And the update is, I'm seeking a separation now. The interference did not stop, no matter how hard I pleaded with my partner not to involve his parents. I tried and begged him to stop involving his parents. Nothing changed. I'm receiving help for my mental health now by doctors. I am broken. I am heartbroken. If you are in a situation, please listen to me. Get out ASAP. If your husband is enmeshed with his family, you can't break that. His family have been controlling the narrative well before you arrived. It has evolved that way long before you arrived. Be kind. So first of all, what I'd like to say in this situation is obviously it's maybe a young couple. They have a child together. He has a previous partner with a child together, and the grandparents seem to be interfering with their relationship. Now, I know in situations like this, grandparents, we must know that that nucleus of the couple being together, that is their family. And grandparents shouldn't interfere. That's my first point, first off. And boundaries do need to be met. However, the amount of times that I've read in this description of her saying I think she mentioned we twice throughout the whole of it, and I. So perhaps in this case, she doesn't mention her parents. So it's possible that she doesn't have a good relationship with her parents, but I'm making an assumption. Maybe she does, but she doesn't mention her parents at all in this whole interaction. Also, she made the point that she's had enough, which is fair enough. especially with meddling grandparents. I know that if they're into everything and making all the decisions, or maybe they're telling her something in a nice way, but she's not taking it in a positive way and taking it as criticism. Just like when she said that when they wanted to build their home, that the parents offered to give them financial assistance. However, she read that as, I will read it quote, that them helping out financially meant equals that they will make all the decisions. I didn't hear that in the offer of helping them out. To put, sometimes when people get married, the parents will give a financial aid or assistance just to help the couple out. Doesn't mean that they're going to take over and get involved. Now, I know some people, obviously, when they're raising their children, they want full control, and completely agree with that. Like I said, that is a new nucleus, and grandparents are on the external of that. So we come in, we give them the love and the cuddles, and then you give the children back, right? Then she also made a point that his sister-in-law, mother-in-law, that they've both been interfering, and his brother-in-law verbally abused her. Now, what's interesting is that she's not saying what her involvement is in it, because it made the point when she said that, she goes out on occasion drinking with her friends, and the sister-in-law probably tells her, well, you shouldn't be out there boozing, which she said she's not drinking every night. And she just made the reference that the sister-in-law drinks every night, but was not accepting the fact that when she does go out with her friends, that she possibly comes home drunk. And it's fine if you're single, or it's fine if you're in a couple, but if you've got a child, it's not the best thing to be hungover, because you've got to deal with a child the next day and all these kind of things. I've seen quite a few red flags in this whole situation, and she blames her partner a lot. She said they both went to counselling, but she's broken, she's hurting, when it must be hard for the partner to keep that balance with the parents as well as making her happy. Now, we know that relationships should be a two-way street. Sometimes it doesn't go that way, but I can see her placing a lot of the blame on the son and not taking accountability for herself. So she's really painting herself in a most positive light, and everyone else is a villain. When we think about it, the parents have already offered to help them out financially. They're obviously having a good relationship with the grandchildren as well. Yet she's not happy about it, and she's now decided to take or split from the partner because she can't take it anymore, and makes a point of, if you are in a similar position, to get out as soon as possible. What I don't see in this whole interaction is her having a conversation with the parents, her sitting down and voicing how she feels, and getting an understanding from the partner of how he feels, because maybe he doesn't feel that it's a problem. So we can see that there's a big breakdown in communication here, because she's not talking to the parents, she's not talking to her partner. They have had counselling, and obviously from the counselling it seems like she's made the decision to leave. And she also makes a point, again, wanting sympathy from people, when she makes a point of, she says, also my partner's previous partner and child packed her bags and left him. Same situation, interfering. Now, again, that's an assumption, unless he's told her that the parents were interfering. Maybe he's just not good, again, with the communication. She says his ex and child have no contact with him or his family. Nothing changed when he met her. So if nothing changed when he met her, why would you choose to have a child with that person? She speaks of a circle of interference, and she said that her in-laws learn nothing. She doesn't know the relationship that the boyfriend or the husband had before he really met her, probably what he told her, but there's a lot of assumption in here, because she also says, I wonder, would they care if I packed my bags and left? So again, it's about her. It's not about, she's not mentioned anything about the child and the love of the child or the relationship that the child has with the grandparents, but just the fact of the little things that she doesn't like what the grandparents do. She pleaded with the partner not to involve his parents. So breakdown in communication, she quite obviously didn't like the parents. She doesn't mention anything about her own parents. And sadly, they're going to split and separate. I see a lot of I in there. It's all about her feelings, not anyone else's feelings, just how she's feeling. And I fully understand she's probably a first-time mother, and maybe they're trying to help because they can see that, but she doesn't see it like that. She sees it as interference. And like I said, when two people get together, they create that nucleus, they have that family, and they set the boundaries. They're the ones that set the boundaries. But as for taking the child, going no contact, it's really putting the young man in a bind and making him have to choose. And that's not really nice, especially if he has a good relationship with his family. Then go and speak to the parents. Say, parents, we don't agree with this, this and this. And if they cross the boundary, you let them know that they crossed the boundary and that there will be repercussions. Obviously, she said her mental health has been affected, and she says her partner's just sat back or let it happen. You see, no boundaries have been met there. So you're both in a relationship. You claim that you're falling out with everyone. That again means that you've got to look at yourself and what you're bringing to the relationship to make it break down. Because I hear a lot of assumption in here, and I hear a lot about I. And when you're in a family, it's about we. So in this situation, communication, I think, is key. Communication is key, that you can all sit together and come to an agreement of what your expectation is of the parents. If you were to take financial assistance to build your home, then say to them, we thank you so much, but we're going to make the decision. You're the one that's in control. Just because someone gives you money, it doesn't mean that they should take control of you, but you set down a contract, you set down boundaries, and that will help all of you work together for the better good of your relationship, have an extended family for when you want to go on those nights out. Remembering not to, if you are going out in the night time, you've got children, you don't want to overdrink and be hungover, because that means you can't look after the children the next day. And let the parents know, thanks for your advice, but I'm letting the child's hair grow, because you probably don't even have to explain it away. You just have to, like I said, set those boundaries and work together as a family. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. And the fact that she's got grandparents, or that child's got grandparents, what a wonderful privilege it is to have grandparents. I do hope that they work it out, and sometimes maybe it's run its full course. And before you have children, you've got to make sure that everything is kind of right, so that you're not going to be stuck with a family that you possibly don't like. Because you can't just like the son and not take the family, because he probably really loves his family as well. So it's horrible that you have to make someone choose. It shouldn't be that way. But it's nice if boundaries are set. It's nice if you can work together. And like I said, it takes a village, and the child is only going to benefit. Let me know what you think in the comments. The question was, my daughter-in-law doesn't show up for our family functions. What should I do? It's quite interesting. Then she goes on to say that she's a daughter-in-law. So again, even the title, she doesn't say that I don't go to family functions because my parents-in-law interfere with my relationship. She starts it out as my daughter-in-law, as if in another person. So again, not taking accountability for what she's about to say. I am Natasha John-Baptiste, life coach mentor, peer mentor, and I'm here for you. I'll see y'all on the other side.